Hello and welcome back to She is the Moment. I hope you are having a wonderful Monday morning so far. I am in my summer house right now, so I do apologize if you hear any noise because I am getting a new fence installed. How exciting! And who knew that fences were so expensive? So, my family are not going on holiday anytime soon because we're getting a new fence. And I was like, oh, I'm a bit sad about that. But now I look at my new fence and who'd have thunk it? It actually does make me quite happy, this new fence. Um, so I have two Romanian rescues, two former street dogs, and they act like street dogs. Um they're little, right? So they're both about 10 kilos and they go for walks about the neighborhood because I don't have a secure fence. Really naughty. I'm smacking my wrist right now because you're not supposed to adopt a rescue dog if you've not got a secure fence. But in my defense, do you remember that really, really big storm that we had recently? Well, a tree that wasn't actually in my garden, it was behind my garden, fell over and pulled my almost like I would say about 5 meters of fence down, right? So tiny little 10 kilo Romanian rescues, 5 meters of fence comes down. They can just like go. They just were like going for little wanders. But the thing is with Romanian rescues, and I don't think this is true for all Romanian rescues. It just happens to be for mine. They always come back. So when I lived in my old flat and had Elsa, and our garden was not secure either, but she is also an escape artist, she would go for like 30 minutes at a time, like completely go. She always came back. We just didn't know when. So things have not necessarily changed, but because we got a new Romanian rescue, and I feel like I should give you a little update on her. We've had her for 5 months now. I can definitely feel like she's coming out of her shell a little bit. I can tell her little personality is coming through. When we got her, she was definitely under one. So she was still very much a puppy. But she wasn't acting like a puppy because she was just so traumatized. She's now starting to act like a puppy. And that means that she has eaten the skirting board in the room that she stays in. She's eaten pretty much like on 4 or 5 walls. The skirting board, she's eaten 2 walls. And that was because she was bored. And I get it because she can't, like, we were letting her outside, but we can't take her out for walks because I can't get a harness on her. So she was bored, and probably just really anxious as well. She's not chewing anymore. We got like a spray to spray on the walls. And I was really sad about the walls. But do you know what? It's just one of those things. If you have dogs, if you have a traumatized puppy, then I'm just gonna have to sacrifice the walls. But I can see a little personality coming out. She plays with things, she chews things, she gets really excited when it's time for her dinner. She will allow me and only me to pat her, and only in one location in two locations in my house. If I'm in the kitchen and I'm standing in the corner and I'm sitting on the floor, and I've got food, she will allow me to pat her. If she's sitting on, like, she's got a little like a futon in the living room. The strange thing is she always likes to be in the room that we're in, but she just doesn't want to be touched by us. She doesn't want to come near us, and she is also quite scared of us. But she will always follow us into the room and like find a little spot to curl up. So she's curious. She'll let me pat her when she's on the futon. Sometimes she'll run away. She's scared of Paul. She barks at him still. And she doesn't bark at Cormac, and she's never, ever, ever approached him. But she's always watching him, like, what's he doing? Because toddlers are unpredictable. So that's been 5 months. I'm proud of us because a lot of people would have given the dog back in that situation. And I know a lot of people would have, and in that, if that was the case, then I feel like the trauma on top of the trauma just kind of ruins the dog. That's the real fact. And then the dog just is never ever a pet. It's always a traumatized wild dog. So I never wanted to give her back. don't get me wrong, I have really questioned the decision in getting her. It was a little bit of a grief-stricken impulse decision because obviously we lost the doggy of my life. We lost her in September last year. We lost Maggie, and I just wanted a second dog. I felt like lonely. Elsa was lonely, so we got a second dog, and I got a second Romanian rescue that looked exactly like Elsa because I thought, oh well, Elsa was so easy. No, how wrong could it be? So, poor little Mishka, when she arrived to us, she had just been dressed, like she'd just been neutered. She'd been on the van for 36 hours. I could see her wound was still raw. I think it's just wild that they had neutered her and then put her on a bus for 3 days. Um, she was probably still in massive amounts of pain. Luckily, I had some pain relief that I could give her because when she arrived, like she wouldn't eat anything. I managed to like put it in some chicken. When she arrived, she was like howling, but and it was like groaning, howling. I could tell that she was just so scared and so sore. So I was, yeah, she's come on a long way from there. Um, she's not toilet trained, which is the other great thing. However, she does only pee on puppy pads, and she very, very rarely now does poos on the puppy pads. She does them outside somewhere in the garden. Um, but it's just one of those things. Like I'm a really doggy person. I really love her, even though she doesn't love me yet. I love her. I want her to feel safe. I want her to feel happy. So actually, since this new fence, back to the fence, since this new fence has gone up, I feel like she seems um, a little bit happier in the garden because the garden was so open, and quite often we'd get like foxes in the garden, or maybe they might get cats. She was like on high alert even in the garden, and you could just tell her little body's always tense. Whereas I actually saw her lie down on the grass, and dogs don't lie down unless they're feeling like a little bit more relaxed. So fingers crossed for me. I think that it will still be a long time before I manage to get a harness on her. I tried to put a harness on her maybe about a month ago, and she ran away with the harness on and got stuck underneath my decking. And I was really worried that she'd actually got stuck and like maybe strangled herself because she had the harness on. I was so worried she got stuck under there for it was maybe the entire day she was under there. But then eventually we found her in the next door neighbor's garden. Still had a little harness on, and she was just hiding under a bush, and she didn't run away when I came to her, so she was clearly just like, save me, my new mommy. So I'm not going to try the harness on for a while, but I think she would love a walk. She would really love a walk. She'd love to come out for walks with Elsa. I think she would still be really, really scared. One of the things about Romanian rescues is they are generally scared of men, and they are generally scared of cars and buses, big cars especially. So if I'm out on a walk with Elsa and a lorry or a bus goes by, she stops and she like pulls right in against like as far away as she can get from that van because apparently in Romania, well, there's so many street dogs. Like they get run over all the time, but also people try to run them over, which is really really devastating. So I've got two very very traumatized dogs. Elsa is not traumatized really anymore. She's just like had a life. She's see if she could talk, she would be she'd probably have like a really like a heavy smoker's voice, and she'd be like, Shauna, I have seen some things in my life. I don't know why she'd have a French accent. She actually would probably more have like, I don't know how to do a Romanian accent. I do know how to do a Russian accent. So she'd be like, Shauna, back when I was in Romania, I used to smoke 50 a day. But now I'm here and I lie on my back, you scratch my tummy, you give me snacks. Life is good. So that's essentially what she'd talk like. I don't know what Mishka would talk like. I think she'd have a very high pitched voice. I'm feeling a bit scared. Something like that. Anyway, let's get on to the topic of this conversation. I've wasted 10 minutes of your time talking about my new fence, and my dogs. The other reason that I can't go on holidays is because I can't leave Mishka with anyone yet. So that's actually the main reason. When I go on holiday, I leave my dogs with my mum. I can't give her a dog that is A, not toilet trained, B, going to potentially eat her wall, and C, absolutely terrified of her. So, yeah, no holidays, unfortunately, for our family. Great! So, I want to talk a little bit about something that I know holds so many coaches and business owners and service providers back from scaling to that next level of business. And it is something that is so, so simple. And if you just addressed it this week, you would already be on a path to bringing in more leads, more clients, more sales, right? And I'm not even being flippant here. And it is procrastinating on any techie things within your business, right? Okay, so see if the amount of times that I hear coaches say, "Oh, do you know what? I really need to set up email marketing, but I just don't know how. I know I need to have a landing page, but oh, it just seems like such a big task. I know I need to have some sort of automation to make things easier, but I don't know what I'm doing." We are in the time and space where literally everything is Googleable. Everything. And not only that, there is a YouTube tutorial for everything. And then finally, if you don't like YouTube tutorials, go to ChatGPT, right? Type in the thing that you want to do specifically. Say, can you break this down and explain like I'm 5 and tell me how to do it? And the amount of times that I have done that and that has saved me so much time, like even before it's actually, I'll go straight to Chat GPT. Before we had Chat GPT, I was watching YouTube tutorials. But I see coaches who are at that stage where they've got a decent amount of clients, right? But all they're doing is running an Instagram. And I don't get me wrong, I have said this before and I'll say this again. I have had clients who have hit 11, 12K months with just an Instagram account. But if you're in that position where, okay, you're hitting those high income months, but you want to go even higher, you need to introduce some sort of other platform into your business, some sort of automation, some sort of lead generating activity, some sort of way to sell what it is that you're doing without just having to post content. And quite often it could be email marketing, it could be launching a podcast, it could be having a landing page, it could be having a lead magnet. All of these things sound like they are things that take lots and lots and lots of time, but they are really so disgustingly simple. And even things like I coach people every day who are needing help with these things, but I also coach people who are like, how is it I put a sticker on Instagram? And we quite often forget that, like, you think, oh, I'm I'm really rubbish at tech. There's people that are way ahead of you, but there's also people who are like even more out of their depth with these things. But as I want to just remind you, everything is Googleable, everything is workoutable, and you can find a way to learn how to do it. I want to tell you a little bit of a story. When I first launched my group coaching program, at the time it was called the Mummy Business Makeover. I had to make an online course, right? And I that was what one massive part of Mummy Business Makeover, and Unfucking Stoppable still has like a massive online course as part of it with hours and hours and hours of video modules and video trainings. I sold my group coaching program before I made the course, right? Before I even made it. So the doors closed on the Friday, right? And the intake started on the Wednesday. And this is my very, very first ever intake of the Mummy Business Makeover. This was when I had just started this business. And all I had at that point was my Instagram, and I don't think I even had email marketing at this point. So I'd sold out my intake, I'd made £15,000. It was wonderful, right? But then I had to, make the course. I had to find out straight away how to do this. I had 2 days to do it because I don't work weekends. I had Monday and Tuesday to do it. So someone had told me, do you know what? Thrivecart is really good. Thrivecart's great, right? So Thrivecart is good because what I like about it is it's got I can have my landing pages, and I can also have my online course as part of Thrivecart. What I also like about Thrivecart is that you pay once versus paying monthly. I think just on this one point is that's another thing that I think stops a lot of people from scaling onto that next level in business, is literally not making any investments. Now, if you run an online coaching business, you have very, 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 very little in terms of overheads. You probably pay for the coaching platform, you maybe pay for Canva, you maybe pay for Zoom. Really and truly, you're not spending a lot of money, and that is unusual for any sort of business. Think of any other business that apart from yours, you're spending money. You have overheads, right? So then you're met up with, email marketing is £35 a month. I don't really want to spend that right now. Well, if you signed one client off of an email, you have made that money back. Oh, I don't want to spend £600 on landing pages. So when I bought Thrivecart, I think it was £600, £700, but that was like an upfront fee. One client I signed had made that back. One client. So what we need to think about is having this sort of bigger picture. And if you're thinking right now, I really don't like spending money to make more money, then you need to listen to the episode of my podcast that is on money mindset, because that's a red flag right there that you need some help with your money mindset. But back to the story, right? So I had 2 days to work out how to make an online course. So I was like, right, I'm not going to spend ages like this analysis paralysis working out where to host my course. Someone had said Thrivecart is good. I'm going to go for Thrivecart. Now, there's loads of different places that you can host courses. There's loads of different places that you can have landing pages. And now I know that, right? But at the time I was like, right, just going for Thrivecart. I then had a day to work out how to actually use Thrivecart, how to host the course, how to record, edit, upload. Loads of things were happening there, but I got it done in the space of, I think it was 1.5 days. It was all done. I will just say that I didn't upload the entire course. I drip fed it. I was like, okay, when we start, their first three videos are up. Next 3 videos are going next week. So that's a little tip for you as well. If you are creating courses and you're having your first launch, you don't need to make the entire course before you start. You just need to drip feed it. Because no one's going to be, you don't want people to be absorbing the whole thing straight away. You want them to take a little bit in and then rest and then take on the next bit. So back to this topic. If I didn't do that, right? So if I didn't make that investment, if I didn't also, if I listened to that imposter syndrome that was like, Shona, you don't know what you're doing with tech, then I wouldn't have got that done. I would have stayed where I was, right? Now, the investments I've made in various different tech things over the years that I've been doing this business, I've been so varied. Some of them have paid off, some of them have been good, some of them have not been good, and that's fine, because that is just a normal part of, running a business. But also some of them have been much more simple than others as well. This is really fresh in my mind recently, because I have been in this stage where I have been in a real stretch zone. In fact, I even wrote it down in my little notebook. I just wrote, babe, you are in your growth and stretch era. And I was like, yes, I love this, because I ran a 4-hour masterclass on wedding stages there. which was so fun, so incredible. I was teaching my entire client getting content strategy. I had 23 coaches turn up. Lots of people that didn't know me, I'd never met before. It was so super duper successful. The feedback was incredible. Someone even said that like what they were going to do was they didn't realize it was 4 hours. They thought it was just 1 hour. They were just going to like sit and like listen while they did work in the background. She was like, no, I couldn't do that. I was so drawn in and engaged, and she stayed all the way through to the end. And I'm just off a call with her because she wants to work with me. So it was really super duper successful, but I ran ads for it, and that was the second time I've ran ads for an event. I ran a 5-day boot camp in May, and I ran ads for this. And it really did pay off because I was promoting it organically, but also promoting it via paid ads. And it was quite a complex ad strategy. I also was not only using ads, I was email marketing as well, and SMS and WhatsApp marketing, which was something that I had never ever done before. And while I was on the way of learning how to do that, I didn't know how to set up WhatsApp for Business. Let me tell you right now how disgustingly simple it is to set up WhatsApp for Business, and this is going to be an absolute game changer for you. See if you want to use WhatsApp for your business, but you're fed up of having your like clients in amongst your mum and your sisters and your pals group chats, then all you need to do is go to your local corner shop, buy a SIM card for £1, right? They'll probably have a range of different SIM cards. Buy one for £1, take it back to your phone, take your current SIM card out, put the new SIM card back in, download WhatsApp for Business, link it with the new phone number, right? Set it all up. That will take literally minutes. Then take the new SIM card out, put the old one back in, boom, that's you done, right? It costs you £1 to have a new phone number on WhatsApp for Business. So that is how you set it up. You can thank me later. And I learned that just by asking ChatGPT, working it all out myself. And this is what it really comes down. Do you know what it is? It doesn't come down to being a techie person or not being a techie person, because I'm not a techie person. I even had a moment recently where I realized I was being a bit silly. Well, I didn't realize I'd been silly. I felt a little bit silly. I was wanting someone to give me feedback on my ads. So what I did was I recorded it on Zoom, uploaded it to YouTube as an unlisted video, and then sent her the link. What she said was, just upload it as a YouTube, as a Zoom clip, record it as a Zoom clip, then send me the link to that. You don't need to upload it to YouTube. And I was like, oh, didn't know. I didn't know you could do that. So there are things that lots and lots of things that I don't know, right? I'm not a techie person, but the difference is that I don't listen to imposter syndrome. I don't procrastinate on activities that I think are boring. I actually lean into those. I don't procrastinate on things that I know are going to scale my business. So if this week, right, you're like, oh, do you know what? I just need to set up a sales page. I need to set up email marketing. I am telling you right now, what you're going to do is you're going to block out 2 hours in your diary right now this week, and you're going to get them done. And then you are going to thank me, because that is that now done. And you'll actually be like, okay, I didn't actually need 2 hours. I got it done in half an hour. That's really annoying because I've been procrastinating on it for months. And now it's bloody done. And you can thank me later. So doesn't matter if you're a techie person or not a techie person. It does matter if you listen to the imposter syndrome, and it does matter that you stop procrastinating right now. Okay. All right. Deal? Deal. I hope you enjoy listening to this podcast, and I will speak to you next week. Bye.